kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Tell me, boy.
I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid.
Testicles 1, 2. Testicles. Yeah. Ooh. Woo! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Paranoid Radio Podcast. I'm your humble host, Trebles Garcia. And joining me the once and two is the best co-host in the motherfucker planet. Squeaky, Big Tank. Salute.
Salute. What's poppin'? How you been, big dog? What you up to?
Bro, I fucking miss you, dog.
No,
bro,
fuck
I miss you.
Fuck you.
There we go.
You're the one always missing the Call of Duty sessions. This isn't my problem, all right? We have scheduled time. For people that don't know, we have scheduled times, our bro time, and he's always ducking. And then he comes out here, I miss you. Shut the fuck up, you liar. You're a fucking fake drama queen.
Dog, yo, I'm busy trying to build the fucking empire, Big Daddy.
Nigga, fuck the empire. It's all about me, baby. I'm Queen Bee around here.
And this episode is brought to you by Los Cuñados Bullies. Make sure you get your gorilla rhinos. I don't know what that means, but it gets the people going. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about gorilla rhinos, talking about picking up your rhino shit, and picking up things and buying things. Yo! ParanoidRadio.com is fully activated, and we have a full selection of gear for you to hook up yourself. Dude, we got shower curtains, bro. We got slippers, bro. Yo, we got hats and caps and rat-a-tat-tats. Dog, we got all the good shit. We got stickers. We got hang towels. We got pillows. We got pillow pets. We got chia pets. N-I-G-G-A. And I don't want to be your homie. I want to be gay. No, that's not what. No, wait, that's not what I was trying to say.
Way off course.
I got a little excited. I'm sorry. Shit. Fuck.
Get
the people going, bro. Yo, check this out, though. Hikey. ParanoidRadio.com. You can not only now stream for free, but you could also buy the gear. I dropped it to the smallest margin possible. I'm only making 59 cents a piece for you to wear. The amazing shirts, amazing fucking windbreakers. We got Coach windbreakers. We got shorts. We got slippers, dog. Go hook up yourself. We got baby clothes, bro. Yeah, we got a full selection of Paranoid Radio Podcast gear. Also, we got Flash_News1 gear, and we also have gear for Los Cuñados Bullies, our main sponsor of today. Now, Big Tank, tell them, please, a little bit about you, bro. What have you been doing, Big Daddy? Yeah.
What have I been doing? Fuck. I had a busy weekend. I went to Arizona this weekend.
Oh, shit.
I went to Arizona this weekend. I was out there cruising. I found this badass burger joint. I'm not going to say it rivals In-N-Out because it's completely different. But imagine like an In-N-Out patty with like maybe the delicacy of like a Jack in the Box, a new patty that they have. Or more gourmet, better yet said. You give me a
like
more
McDonald's?
gourmet bun. Huh?
Like McDonald's?
Oh, no, not even close. Not even on the same level. I will say it was really good. Really, really fucking fire. I had never tried it. Fucking, chulada. I'm going to go back.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Besides that, nothing, big dog. It's fucking been amazing. I was able to COD yesterday. I got 8 kills without my buddy, my partner in crime. Had to show them I can still hold it down without him. Fuck that fool. If you're listening, fuck that fool. S420W, fuck that fool.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Gang. Yeah, wait, what do you mean? S420W? That's me, bitch. Fuck you. Fucking shit over here. Yeah, you know what? Connect the randomizing machine and give me the listener of the week.
A randomizing machine, do your thing.
Paranoid Radio.
Listen to that, baby bird. Big Tank, who do we have?
Pamela Campos, massive shout out. Pamela _0420C, massive shout out.
Yeah, look at her. It seems like she's not only married to she's not anti-racial. What is when you have different race sex? Interracial sex.
Interracial.
Yeah, there we go. Interracial racial sex. But it also seems like
marriage. How about that? It doesn't even have to be about sex.
And what about interracial intercourse marriage sex? How about that? Yo, and on top of that, thank you for your service to her husband. It seems like he's a fucking Marine. And massive shout outs. This episode goes out to both of y'all. Now, a big tank. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Paranoid Radio. Big tank, what is happening?
What the fuck? Did your voice crack, or was that just naturally you retarded?
Just go with it, baby. Just go with it.
What is happening? You guys all deal. This is what is happening. The best segment of the show where I give you guys just 2 stories and I want you guys' official input. So, what the fuck is going on? Okay.
Oh yeah. Wait. So, and back the bank of knowledge.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So let's make this quick, simple, straight to the point. What the fuck is happening, bro? Okay. So I'm gonna picture this. Where do you envision yourself financially 20 years from now?
Fucking being the king of the world. I'm fucking conspiracy poppy. Have 3 different podcasts, 16 different studios, and 18 kids. What's up?
That's a little right over here. Okay.
I mean, whoa, why,
okay.
baby?
For the rest of the humble folks, if you are thinking of retiring normally from like 62, 65, guess what? It looks like you might not even make it. Social Security has become so inflated/deflated that they have no actual predicament where the next generation might actually be sustained, which is fucking insane. Right now, it's like, let's let 20 years from now deal with it and see how it goes for them. As it is, that's the only thing Americans really have to look out for. We don't have no free benefits. We don't have any type of background besides if you put money on your 401k. Most of them don't even afford a 401k. Many of them don't even have, I don't want to say good jobs, but jobs that actually provide for your future. This is the majority of 50% of Americans that have no use or will not use it. So did you know that actually saving isn't hard? Realistically, if you put away $100 every month or every paycheck, even better, by the time you retire, by the age of 25, you'll have close to about 400k.
Word.
But if you do it after the age of 35, you're only looking at about 160. Can you imagine? Well, first of all, imagine you getting to 60 years old and then actually being able to retire. Okay, realistically, you have free money. Let's say you have the 160k. Let's say you started saving late. You have the 160k. Realistically, if you go off your job, which would be 50 to 75,000 for the average American, and I'm gonna just do that. You only have about 3 years of life, and that's if you bought a house, if you paid it off, if you only do the bare necessities.
Bare necessities and fucking bare necessities.
Bro, it's fucking insane when you actually think about it. Because I rent, you rent, a lot of people rent. Not saying that it's impossible to buy a house. I mean, I'm not gonna say that. People are making it day in, day out. But it's fucking crazy with these APR, these high things. Bro, it really feels like heading back to the motherland over in Mexico and calling it a day. That's the only way realistically you're gonna make it.
There's only three things you can do.
Guatemala and Salvador for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's only 3 things that you can do to become super extremely rich. 4 things actually. 1 is you're born with the money. 2nd, you work your ass off. 3rd, you learn how to fucking suck some dick. Quite frankly, you're the best at number 3. I'm the best at number 2. And number 1, no one's born with all that fucking money unless you're Donald Trump, the closest thing to Jesus Christ.
Oh, he wasn't even born with it because he asked for a small loan of $1 million.
Oh, $1 million.
I'm just quote you on that one. He wasn't even born with it because he had a small loan.
That fool's Little Jesus, bro. I'm gonna make a t-shirt called Little Jesus. Oh, talking about Little Jesus, do not forget that you can also cough up the shirt. Donald Trump is the closest thing to Jesus Christ. On ParanoidRadio.com, you could actually buy that shirt and wear that shit for all his rallies. Woo! That's right, Big Dad. I'm gonna buy that shit on my rocket, dog. All right, what's up?
I personally just can't see. I can't see that magnitude of look at our parents currently. You get me? My parents don't have a house. They don't own a house. Their full plan is to go back. But they were born and raised over there. They love going over there.
Word.
Imagine for second generations like us that don't know anything about over there. You get me? We don't know how to sustain a life over there. It's not the same where everything's easy to get to. Maybe depending where you go. You get me? But it's not the same. So just fucking think about that. Shit's fucking insane. Just mind-blowing to me, realistically. How the fuck are we gonna do it?
Yeah, and it's fucking sickening to my stomach how everything's turning out, which means our kids will only have to work harder for their deathbed. Straight up.
Exactly. Moving on to the next one. My people, a little bit more lighter topic is: have you ever thought about starting your own company?
Oh, we already did. Paranoid Radio podcast, baby. Woo! Okay, what's up? I have, obviously, we all have.
Yes, I think we've all imagined the suitcases, the briefcases, and everything. Let me tell you about something. There was this guy preaching this false prophet, this false hope about how you could be able to make comfortably. He didn't give these outrageous numbers of millions of dollars. He gave this comfortable number of about $350K to $400K. Using his system. Okay, a lot of people went. He told you how to get set up. It was common knowledge. So what he ended up doing was this Chick-fil-A type of thing. So Chick-fil-A, you only have to put down $10K and they'll pay the rest of it. They'll pay the land fees and everything else, but you get a cap salary of, I think it's like $250,000 or $350,000. Yeah, which is still solid money for a lot of people. 110%.
Of course.
Still solid money.
Oh yeah.
So compared to let's say McDonald's, that you have to put up almost close to $1 million, and then you have to pay all these extra fees and everything. You get me? So he actually went on this little scandal where he publicized all these type of places that he had this company going for. He walked out. I shit you not. This is probably the greatest scam deal ever. He walked out with a total of $250 million because it would be video seminars they would just play on repeat. People constantly sending him money. Fucking insane. We've all heard the story. When it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Yeah. It probably fucking is.
What?
Bro, would you ever fall for that? Because it wasn't even a pyramid scheme. We've all seen pyramid schemes. You get me? Where they promise you your own life, whatever it is. But this wasn't even that. This was him basically saying, you're going to have your own type of money with his own independent franchises in India. And people were falling for it.
McDonald's did the same fucking thing. Remember, McDonald's, if you remember how McDonald's came up, McDonald's is one little restaurant owned by the McDonald brothers. And then the founder came and he said, let's franchise this shit. Let's put a McDonald's on every state. And they did. And then he was losing out on money. However, what they were trying to do is they were trying to make people come and own their McDonald's. And the owner of each McDonald's had a McDonald's up, but they started to sell anything and everything inside the kitchen. And they were using the speedway system. So they had a speedway system in the kitchen that would allow them to make fucking hamburgers extremely fast and serve an extreme amount of people in a very short amount of time, very efficiently. So that was adopted on every McDonald's, but then other McDonald's started selling chicken fried, fucking a bunch of other shit, right? Then what they did is, you want to own the kitchen, own the menu, and own the McDonald's name. You don't need to own the building. You need to own the land because it's a recurring money. So this is how McDonald's stays afloat. McDonald's does not stay afloat because they sell Big Macs. McDonald's stays afloat because they sell the land where the owner of the McDonald's puts his establishment. Bam. Same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. This guy was promising nothing, was promising everything for nothing. They're a complete difference. You get me? At least with McDonald's, you get a name.
Well, the original owners of McDonald's, they got 1.7 million for the last name, and then they left, and they were kicked out of the contract, and McDonald's became a global phenomenon. And the original owners, they disappeared.
Of course he did. 1.7 million back in those years? Fucking insane.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck, they couldn't use the name McDonald's anymore.
Yes, but that was just bad parenting. It's like the whole thing with Facebook, how the original one, supposedly Zuckerberg, got suckered out of it. You get me? It was the same thing. The devil's in the details. We all know that. 110%. The devil's always going to be in the details. But this was a legitimate scam of nothing. nothing behind it, nothing for it, and people were falling for it because you had to pay this registration fee of $100 and then increments of $500 until you paid off $5,000. And he had this whole brochure system set up and everything, how thousands of people were doing it. He was showing this capital profile that he was netting about this much, but all he was showing was a banking system of other people putting in the money in there.
What a fakester.
Hey, can you imagine something like that? That'd be fucking crazy at this point.
Yeah, that's fucking wicked. And there's a lot of scammers still doing that shit to this day, bro. It's still to this fucking day.
Fuck yeah. This is what is happening. Now on to your scheduled broadcasting.
God damn, I had to get it out of my fucking chest. Please allow me to jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the fucking mood. Sean Chris, host of the Kill the Mockingbirds podcast, is back with an agenda to obliterate the establishment a piece at a time, one episode at a time, here on the Paranoid Radio podcast show, and also with his own podcast found on a global scale for free on all podcast platforms. Sean Chris, what's up, big dog?
What's good, man? Welcome. Thanks for inviting me back, man. I had a fun time last time. I like chopping it up with you, man. You got a lot of energy. I love people that are passionate and full of energy, man. That's my deal right there. And don't worry, man. They tell me all the time I say stuff wrong too, man. I always say especially when you start getting into the like Slavic countries and you're like saying their names. I'm like, bro, this is about to get butchered. I know some people can do it. Sometimes I have to have the Google pronunciation up and be like, dun, dun, dun. Like
you can't trust fucking Google, bro. You can't trust none of these global corporations that run the world.
No, you can't. You really can't, man. And that's what's crazy, bro. It's like we're falling into a lot of those traps constantly. And it's like I am sometimes the guy that makes everybody mad, right? Because like I make the right man, I make the left mad because I'm a skeptic. And I'm the guy that's always gonna be like, I don't know, man. Doesn't mean I'm right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not always right, but I think it's a must in this field that a few of us are like, I don't know about that thing over there. I know you guys think it's glorious on the other side, but I think it's a trap.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Kill the Mockingbird podcast can be found on Instagram. Please let them know your handle, bro.
Kill the Mockingbirds podcast on Instagram, or just mosey on to killthemockingbirds.com, where you can find all of our episodes, and then go to the disinformation section. We have a section where we post up stuff, papers and theses and like things that you can use as evidence when you're in some of these arguments. Like we have one up there where they're linking autism and LGBTQ. That's a very interesting one. And then the classic always at the top is my favorite, Cognitive Infiltration by Cass Sunstein, which I believe is the birth of a lot of these conspiracies nowadays. He wrote a paper about what's it called? Infiltrating conspiratorial groups and giving them misinformation. This was a paper from 2008.
Controlled opposition.
Yeah, it's pretty much the definition of that.
Wow. And if you cannot find them for any odd, stupid reason on Instagram, on the website, you could also go to paranoidradio.com, and he's going to drop that menu of special guests and links. He's right there in the bottom, which doesn't put him on the bottom, but he puts him right next up for the new special guest that's coming this week. Again, the Mockingbirds podcast, themockingbirds.com. Themockingbirds.podcast.com? No,
kill the Mockingbirds. Yeah, kill the Mockingbirds. No,
kill the Mockingbirds. I fucking butchered that shit. How disrespectful.
What happens is because kill the Mockingbird, it's your brain, it's stuck in our brains. Because people are like, did you do it because of the book? And I'm like, Operation Mockingbird, but obviously we all had to read that book.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
Yo, Chris, talking about global corporations and all this baby back bullshit that we're getting fed every day. I just got off the mic with Cult of Conspiracy, and mad shout outs to Jacob, and mad shout outs to Jonathan for that amazing show and for sharing their platform with us. Yo, we were finishing talking about and I don't want to make this about that topic, but we're talking about how the religion is being manipulated and how Tucker Carlson's father is ex-CIA. I didn't know this. This is fresh out, bro. And we're speculating. We're growing like a theory around how Tucker Carlson got out of Fox, and then now is over glorified on special platforms. It makes him look a little iffy. This is kind of how I see Trump. Like I love MAGA, and I'm a Latin for Trump, Latinos for Trump all day. However, Jeffrey Epstein, I think you pointed out last time around when we met here, Donald Trump what's his name? Jeffrey Epstein died in Donald Trump's watch, and he got caught. And it was a little flimsy. It was a little fumble that happened, and looks fucking weird. But I'm not here to talk about Trump. Just like that, I recently found some research you handed to me. The Ark, and we're gonna bring this in right now. It's gonna come full circle. Jordan Peterson was giving out a presentation not only to NATO members but other global elitists, I want to say, and how they were trying to not only convert to WEF, but be more conservative as a whole. Their entire speeches, I've seen 3 of the speeches and I had enough. I was like, this seems like it's paid for. And it seems also like it's kind of like some fan service for the people on the other side. Controlled opposition almost, right?
Think tank, right? So like a think tank's a think tank. And he even says we are basically the opposite of the World Economic Forum, which they're the counter opposite. But then we go into the whole Masonic pillars, right? The good and the evil. Like you have to have
his dual
everything,
tuxedo.
right? Yes, exactly.
You seen that shit?
Yeah, bro. And that's where like so. And if you just looking at the surface, and the thing we got to realize, I tell a lot of people this, I don't get mad like if they got the jab. I don't get mad if someone votes Trump, even though I disagree. I think he's in the club personally. I'm not against any of those people because I think people have been propagandized for a long time, and it's not easy to have generational propaganda that's passed down from our family members. You know what I'm saying? Like these are stories that have been told to us, like that we think these are the good guys. So when you see this on the surface, it seems like a good thing, right? Like, hey man, I'm tired of them pushing this LGBT bullshit to my kids. I'm tired of them saying they're going to take our guns away. Like, I'm with you. Like, yeah, we're mad. But then you start looking who's behind it, right? Jordan Peterson, everybody's like, okay, he's a freedom of speech guy. And if it's
I used to love him until now.
Yeah. They're like, I'm anti-World Economic Forum. Man, that sounds perfect, right? We hate the World Economic Forum. We hate Klaus Schwab. But then they're doing the same thing. Now, different values, right? And this is what we see time and time again, is that like they reshape it and they get into this heroism. And people call me a doomer or a black pill a lot of times, but they don't really understand what I'm trying to tell them. They're like, well, if this guy's a bad guy, then it's all over. I'm like, nah, bro. The real white pill is we personally have to take in charge of our own life. You have to put your relationship with God. You have to make it a relationship with your kids. You got to get that money. It's us. Me personally, you can do all government regulations you want, but like, I'm going to take care of mine. I'm going to get mine regardless. Now, is it hard in the system? Sure. But if we can get more and more people to think like that, that's what we make change.
I got chills, and that's the trailer right there.
Oh, yeah.
Round of a fucking applause. I wonder why Jordan Peterson didn't invite you to fucking host the WEF.
Well, we know why, bro. I got the buck. So I put a little list together. This is just this briefly so we could go through some of these people and like the questionable things I have in them. Like first, I'm going to start with everybody's darling, the darling of the hour, but it's his glass slipper was up. Vivek Ramaswamy, right? He was everybody's darling for a little bit. Oh man, he's fighting.
He had me almost reeled in, bro. I was like, shit.
Well, to me, I started calling him. I said, well, this is the Republican Obama for sure, bro, because he's a great speaker. He's very intelligent. He can articulate his thoughts. And one thing I thought he did great as a politician, which we're going to see this going forward, which is going to make it harder for people when they vote, is that he is really good at going head on to the criticism. And that's a smart move that he did. So when people are criticizing him about stuff, like when they said the Soros stuff, right? Oh, you're connected with Soros. And then he had a great rebuttal. Instead of pushing it off like most politicians do, that's what made him different. He was like, oh yeah, well, I didn't know that, it was Soros and blah, blah. So you could be like, okay, if that was one thing, you're like, no harm, no foul. Wait, you own a pharmaceutical company? That's kind of questionable. Oh, you never put product out, but you made a bunch of money? that's questionable. Oh, you went to Yale Law School? Skull and Bones, anybody?
Yeah, right away.
Like, I don't know if he is, but I mean, it would be reasonable to think that.
Do they allow any other than fair-skinned people into their club?
I believe so now, but I mean, who knows? Because I mean, they got the Skull of Geronimo where they're drinking. You know what I mean? That's the initiation. They drink out of the Skull of Geronimo. They dug up his body, like obviously in the early 1900s or something like that, maybe 1800s. And I'm not saying he is, but at least he's got affiliates from there. Anybody that comes from these Yale schools.
It's not who you are, but who you know. And that he definitely he came out of nowhere. He had things so well planned out, so well said, that he had me believing. You know, it got to a point where I was like, wait, hold the fuck up. I'm getting hypnotized by him telling me what I want to hear. It's just so beautiful. It's just, what the fuck? And I've seen how Donald Trump does it, but Donald Trump is a little bit more aggressive on it. And it's not a Trump show here, but yeah, like you could definitely say I fucking love to hate the guy and I hate to fucking love him, right? No, Vivek was like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, young Trump, whoa, you know? And yeah.
And way more charismatic, very well spoken, like I said, and hits like Trump. The reason it works with Trump, see, the thing is too, is like, I don't like Trump because at the same time, I also don't think he's like, oh, he's the dictator. I don't think what the left thinks either. Like, to me, it's just like same old, same old. It's just like the power guard keeps tugging. As how is he for the working class, man? He's never worked a day in his life, man. He's a billionaire. His dad gave him money. You know what I'm saying? He's stiff for working class. Like, a lot of times, which happens in business. I get it. I'm not saying he's the only one. He's not this enemy number one of the state as the left would like you to believe, but that's intentional. I think all this, they want Trump. Like, Trump is going to be, and the conservatism is pushed hard right now, but through subliminal messaging, because what they want is, because remember, like in the 50s and 60s, Christianity was the first, like, not Christianity. Let me step that back. I'm talking about like evangelist conservatives. They were the original cancel culture. You could footloose, you couldn't dance, couldn't wear certain things. You know what I'm saying? But
satanic panic.
Satanic panic. So what you get, though, is when you get that extreme, you get people to go and they hit the other extreme where they're like, well, I'll just dress like the devil.
Fucking balance.
The devil. So then this goes rampant for a while. Now we're going back to when the pendulum swings back and people are going to, like, I've seen Candace Owens the other day, who pushes some of this ARC stuff too. She's tweeted out like, you know, people say and they teach us that the prohibition was bad, but actually prohibition was good, you know, because people shouldn't drink. Look, what you think about people drinking or not, and we could all have a discussion, is it good for your body? But freedom and liberty is freedom and liberty. People need to be able to make their own decisions. And if you create a country where people are able to prosper with the free market, they're able to raise their standard of living, which means they probably won't go to drugs and alcohol. The most times people go to drugs and alcohol is because you're living in a crappy environment where everything around you shit, and you know there's gangs or just everything. Yeah, you're suppressed. Like, and then you're like, well, I need an escape. Well, you ain't going on vacation, I'll tell you that. Like, so you get drunk.
And there goes your creativity out the window. Your power to manifest, your power to create, and that's what they fucking generalize on, specifically in the ghetto areas, in a lot of the areas where banks. So this is kind of what happened throughout the last 50 years. We've seen banks move into poor areas, buy out the houses, and then once they buy out the houses and fix up the houses, they pick up the value of the home, knowing damn right that a freaking middle income person or family won't be able to purchase it. And even if they do purchase it, you won't afford the fucking loan.
They even do it better. They don't even sell it. They don't even sell them. They rent them out, because then it's forever income. Once they sell it, you're only going to make money off it at that time, right? They're like, these corporations. And also some of the thing that gets murky in what we talk about, a lot of people are always like, oh, it's all BlackRock. BlackRock doesn't really own anything. They have partial stakes in a lot of these companies. Like, I think it's,
you don't think it's enough to have influence, though, an impactful influence?
I mean, like, for instance, they were talking about like they had interest in Monsanto's. Total of all their companies combined, it was 5%. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a huge amount of influence. Now, Vanguard, I think they have a little bit more influence, and it depends on the companies they own. And I'm not saying they have no influence. I think that they're more like these middlemen that are. I think we gotta like figure out these power structures, because it can't. Because when we blame it just on BlackRock without knowing the structure, I think they're a device to funnel money. You see what I'm saying? So like, they funnel the money,
avoid the taxes,
but they're not holding the bag. You know what I mean? So we got to find the bag holders, because the bag holders are the guys that are like causing all this. And what's so hard is because we're constantly seeing this tug of war. And what happens, in my belief, there is a lot of stuff that's not told to us, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of lies told by politicians, told by any kind of these people they want us to idolize, because even with Jordan Peterson and Vivek, the way they put them out in the public is to idolize. Like, I tell people all the time, like, I love that you people listen to me. That's dope, man. I hope I can help you with your life. Like, I hope, you know, like, it makes your day better, but don't you ever idolize me. I am just a man, bro. I make mistakes every day. You know what I'm saying? And but I learn from them, and I try to be a better person, and I try to go my path to the Lord, and I try not to judge people on the way, but guess what? I do. So in doing so, I have to recognize that, and I wish more people would get away from this idolization, which I think is the bigger problem, because then it pushes us into this group think where we're like, oh, we're the red team, oh, we're the blue team. No, we're the working class, bro. We're the ones that are the cogs in the machine, but we're fighting each other.
The moment you allow your emotions to judge or take over and then blind fog your thinking, your judgment goes out the fucking window, bro. This is why people start falling in love in different areas. People fall in love with alcohol again, and people fall in love with drugs. And then your house gets broken into, and then your kid you go to jail, and then your kid grows up being a gangbanger, and this cycle continues. And this is all part because you let your emotions wreck you. That's it, bro. It's the truth. You know, I could get into a fight with my wife, and women have a stronghold. And women don't only have the highest purchasing power in the fucking country or in the world, but I get into a wife with my fight right now, and she would cloud everything that's around me. Like this energy would just boom, and I will be at work, you know, but when I go to work, I'm at work. I'm dealing with shit at work. I'm in that fucking spheres. And again, I don't let anything fucking bother me because I'm getting that fucking bad. And then when I come back and I gotta record, I'm recording right now. The only reason I mentioned this is to set an example, but I need to have that energy, that vibration frequency to match other people without allowing my emotions to get hit or controlling
your day. Like you said, you said it perfectly. Exactly. When we go through an emotion, bro, there's emotional things, and not even just arguments, right? Like you can have a sad moment, something happens to the family member, or any kind of bad news that happens. You have to still be able to go to work. Because if I can't be crying at work, I can't be pissed off and yell at my boss and lose my job and lose my money. Now, hey, where are we gonna sleep tonight, Dad? Hey, you have things, and you know, as a man, you're doing the right thing. You're like, hey. And then when you get that time to get away from it, right? As when we're younger, I'm 40 now, but when I was younger, I'm more like, let's yell back and forth. Now I'm like way more understanding. Like I go, look, I'll be back. Like it's to a level that there ain't no need to get to this level. So look, and I might be and it might be because of me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even saying it's because of what you're saying. You might even be right. You know what I mean? You might even be right. But right now, I can't hear this. I gotta walk away, and I'm not gonna walk away for a long time. But I need at least 20 minutes. Like you know, what I'm saying? Give me 20 minutes. Let me collect my thoughts. I'll come back. We talk about it again.
You know what that's called. I'd rather be happy than be right. So I'd rather be happy than win.
Oh, bro. Sometimes like I'm mad though because I'm a fact checker. So I'll be like, oh, really? Like, let me pull this up. Oh, that looks like that happened in 2007.
yeah. Pulling out fucking old school shit. But talking about pulling out old school shit and old problems, the ARC is pushing the agenda of being a more conservative, still in the system, but being more conservative. And you were mentioning some of the names. You went to Vivek, and then we segued a lot.
Yeah, and then I'll bring a couple like just go quick offs like Eye Patch McCain, bro, Dan Crenshaw, man, that's right there. World Economic Forum global leader. That's it. If you know his track record, he's horrible. He's a globalist all the way. There's a Christopher Chandler who is Leggett Limited, also known as Legum, is a private investment firm headquarters in Dubai. Okay.
Nothing positive.
Yeah, nothing positive. Louis Gay, executive chair of Robo Global LLC, a non-executive director of Evergreen. I'm gonna butcher this. So see, told you we'll both have bad. We'll both. Yeah. Yabaveka, whatever. Evergreen about page. I'll have some of this on my website at killthemockingbirds.com. We serve high net worth individuals. This is what their about page. Families, endowments, providing expert guidance and personalized solutions for building a secure financial future. Robo Global indexes by Vita firm who focus on helping and captures a unique opportunity as fast robotics. So it's into robotics. That's another thing. Smart cities. There's Riva Melissa Tez, who is she works for this she's all about digital communities, and it's called like Pixel City. It's a digital city. It's called one of their projects is The City. Thousands of acres of metaverse canvas, a blueprint for innovation and substance economic growth. So they want to build like I don't know if you've seen in Saudi Arabia that line. It's like so similar to that. So
the shit that's coming in the next 20 years. Yeah.
These whole 50-minute cities. You got Robin Bateman, chair of Net Zero Australia. Hello, Net Zero.
Damn, I remember that. Yeah.
So these are just a few of the names. There's a ton of
these are all telecommunications people doing robotics, high-tech technology. And let me tell you something. They might be going against big quotation marks right here, the liberal agenda from the WEF. But it seems like they're just setting the fucking hardcore platform. Kind of like what happened in the Maui fires, right? Yeah, it looks like a fucking drastic fire. Children went missing. Children are still fucking missing still to this day. Nobody's talking about them. And all these issues, right? Okay, but they're not rebuilding. And the ones that are rebuilding are fucking corporations. Yep. Again, people that got the land from these people, from the original owners. They're setting up the fucking platform. That's exactly what these people are. It seems now I'm more leaned to see that what you're saying. Control position is a lot more constant. It's a lot more common.
Also, I think the word controlled opposition is not always the right word, because I don't think everything is that it's like cause and effect, right? So I think that like this one created one. So like, it's not that everybody's connected to these agencies.
You're talking about Star Wars versus right now, bro.
But people are dropping seeds, right? They drop these seeds, and then they know how people are going to react. So they know that, like, if we have this extreme side on the left in think tanks, they're going to have their extreme. And this is not the first right-leaning think tank. But if you think about it, it's eerie too, because they called themselves the Ark. And Jordan Peterson was like, well, we're trying to do this, but we don't want it to be about fear and this and that. And I'm like, think of the symbology of the Ark. The Ark means something bad's happening. A flood's going to come. You're only safe if you're on the Ark. So, like, there's a lot of
karmic retribution. They tell you exactly what's happening it's like the Bible, in paraphrases and fucking metaphors. It's just telling you everything, but are you dull enough to understand or let it pass by you? You know, I was reading this verse today in the morning. We're talking about this. God will give knowledge to those, and to the Pharisees, he gave them metaphors. And the Pharisees, why? Because the Pharisees thought that they were so knowledgeable. They had salvation. Oh, and they knew what God, Jesus was going to preach on to them. So when God spoke, they took it as literal. Oh, how am I going to rebirth again? Am I going to go back into my mom's womb? Like, no, fool, you got to get your dipped in water. So see what I'm saying, right? Like,
yeah, because they didn't really understand the process of it. So like, yeah, they put it into their mind. Like, even sometimes I tell people, like, that's why like I get a lot of flack, because like I don't believe the Earth's flat. Some flat Earth people get really mad at me because
I don't
like, and I'm not against it or anything. I'm like, bro, I literally don't know, and that's not my fight. If that's your fight, and you, hey, more power to you, right? Like, and if you prove it to me, I'm not gonna be like you're a liar. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Yeah. But a lot of times, because people don't get information, they have to create a story, right? JFK, we'll know how he got assassinated. That's why there's a million speculations. And that's why I don't ever dog those people, because I'm like, hey, you can clown them all you want and be like, that's crazy, a magic bullet. Well, what other stories you got? Because the government ain't telling us nothing. Like, we're getting nothing at all. 9/11.
That's what you're talking about, right? The lack of light automatically creates light. Yes. And the opposition, right? Now, maybe not controlled, but it is opposing. Yeah, I get you.
It's opposing, like, and it's not like, because I think that sometimes we get lost in the whole spectrum of the world, and we think that, like, oh, it's run by just the Illuminati or it's run by the Freemasons. I think those are just part of it, but there's a ton of there's a ton of moving parts, and everybody's trying to position themselves, in my opinion, to be at the king of the hill. And to go back just real quick, as you were talking about Maui, so I pulled it up. I did an episode on the whole Maui after the Maui stuff. Turns out in between 2011, and you can find this on killthemockingbirds.com at the disinformation section. In between 2011 and 2016, smart community project called Jump Smart Maui was held in the island of Maui, Hawaii, with the objective of effectively utilizing of renewable energy and testing of smart community social systems.
Mic drop, mic drop, mic drop. Bam, yo. And let me top that one. Let me go tip for tap this. Check this out. Flash_news1, my deep state correspondent, just tick for tap. He just found out. And we've been saying this, we're keeping an eye on this for almost a year already. Check out the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, or the 10th. Those 4 days are in question. The reason for 4 days is because not all months have 31 days. Some have 30, have 28. But the cycle of 30 days, every 30 days, on the 8th of every month, plus or minus 2 days of every month, some big, drastic global catastrophe happens, or a fucking psyop, mass shooting, Maui fires, what's it called? The fucking Mar-a-Lago got hit on the 8th, January 6th.
Some people call it the 2-week cycle. So there's this cycle that goes with politics and with the news that, like, and then it seems, but I'm with you on this. So I'm going to go a little bit further on what you're saying. I think it seems like it used to be a 2-week process and they accelerated it. It feels like now it's like every week, like you said, every 8th or every 10
What is
days.
it for? Is it to maintain us distracted? Because it works well.
I just feel like it's like not just distraction. I think that like that's like part of it, but I think it's just this constant
telling us the truth,
pounding us against each other, and it's not always intentional to try to get us to keep fighting. It's just now natural, right? Because we wake up. So these politicians like a AOC, right? Doesn't mean that she's read in on everything, that she knows everything, but she's just like, all right, red team bad. I need to keep my job. I'm going to say what I got to say to keep my job. Does she necessarily believe everything she's saying? We don't know, right? That would only be to know. And maybe she is deeper than we know, but
the necessity of work. Yeah.
An example. So that's more of a useful idiot, right? Because you're like for power or for like clout or for money or to sustain your lifestyle, whatever it may be, you'll go along with whatever story, because people that made podcasts on Trump, right? They can't question Trump. People that started a podcast in 2016 that's been like Trump, they can't hold him accountable. Why? Because that ruins their brand.
Yo,
now
you know what?
Brand is ruined because they can't do it, because now they're going to be afraid if I say something about Trump, everybody's going to turn on me.
We started talking shit about Trump in the first 2 seasons, the first 2 years of this show. And it wasn't never a Trump show, but now I have a deep state correspondent and I'm all fucking MAGA Trump, right? And it's funny how I don't bash on Trump, but I always leave that room for speculation, you know, because you never know, bro. You can't put all your trust in one man. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. And that's the freedom about this podcasting game for many of us, that for example, you could bring up, research, regurgitate, whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. It's your show and nobody controls it. And just like we were talking earlier, we have a couple of friends doing the podcasting game. But when you start getting paid to do these things and getting paid to drop ads in different areas of your show, and you're talking shit about it, kind of sounds more than stupid. It gets me mad. It gets me mad because you know, I get it. Yeah, whatever. It's not my show. As long as it's not my show, I shouldn't worry. But we're in this circle game together. I mean, fuck. Bro.
Sure. Well, and I think what it is because, first of all, like a lot of those pre-ads, a lot of people don't know what the ads are going to be, right? You have no idea what an ad. It's going to play whatever it's going to play. And then they're actually localized ads. Like it's per region, right? Like you're in California, you're going to get different ads on my show.
That's why. Yeah.
But I agree with you. And that's why I was telling you be off air. Like, and this is something that I'm still pushing towards. I want to build the infrastructure. It's like one of those things you get worried about, like, man, I don't want to ask people for money and like, you know what I'm saying? But no, it has to go value for value. And I can't take credit for that. Adam Curry from No Agenda podcast, they started the value for value 15 years ago, and it's an incredible thing. I think these are the things that can get the arc is not going to get us out of this doing value for value. And what value for value is they go, hey, I love this show. You love this show? Put your money where your mouth is. And what is a value to you? $20 could be a high value for you. $5 could be a high value to you. Hey, $500 might be a low value to you. What you value, whatever value you get out of the show, if it gives you sanity, if it gives you information, it's back in. You could pay $5 a month. You know, you pay for a Netflix subscription, $12.99.
And you don't bitch about the fucking bullshit nonsense they're giving you at Netflix.
Nobody's even gonna respond to you. If you bitch to us, we're gonna respond to you.
Like the fan service all day.
Depending on what you say. If you say some sly shit, I want to say some sly shit back. But for sure, we're gonna get your criticism. And I promote people to give me critical criticism. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're right. Constructive criticism helps. You know, like in doing the show, like maybe I'm dragging on. Hey, appreciate it. You know, I'm gonna keep that in mind to try to, like, if they say it a nice way. But not only do they get help financially, they get help from other things. They go, hey, some people can't pay. Maybe a value for you is you can build a website really easily. They have every episode, they have people submit art. So every episode they have a unique piece of art as the cover for the episode. And
that's people
they have dope. Like 50 to 100 people pushing art. So we can take these things back. We just have to put it into our lap. Like, so every time, and this is my problem and my criticism of Trump. My criticism is, it's 2020. You said you got the election stolen. I believe elections, presidents are selected, not elected. So that's, but let's just say, right? I agree that there's a lot of phoniness. And obviously there was ballot harvesting. There was a lot of stuff that happened. There's evidence that we could see it. Like, it's obvious, right?
Yeah.
You knew that and still decided to run with the GOP. You had the argument for a third party candidate is always like, well, you know, because they don't. Dude, he has the fame. he has the base. He could start his own party. And that was the rumor. And I, a person that has been critical from Trump since day one, throughout his entirety, was actually at a point where I was like, if he starts his own party, I'm going to think about him differently, right? And I get it. He could do whatever he wants. But my thing is, if you're going to keep going to the, every time someone comes into the thing, they go, look, guys, I'm going to go into as a Republican. I'm going to change their mind, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go into the cog of the machine. Like, no, I'm going to do it the same way they do it. I'm going to be part of them, and then I'm going to change it. They never change, bro.
No,
They
you get changed because you got some change. Yo,
and that's just how it is.
You know, it's funny where you're talking, kind of reeling it back into the whole fast-paced propaganda bombardment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've seen this. I don't even remember. You're 40 years old. I'm 33. I remember the times where it was Saturday morning. I would wake up.
Great.
Yeah, 30. I'm at the prime time. I'm about to blow the fuck up. Yo, I remember waking up Saturday mornings, bro, and I'd be bored out of my mind because I wouldn't be able to fucking jump on the internet because it was dial-up and it would interfere with the phone service. I remember when I had to get up on Sunday morning and do some chores around so that my mom or my parents could let me fucking go out and spend the entire day on a bike, riding around town, playing dodgeball, basketball, hooping around, going tagging and shit. I remember these good old days where I was outside, where I was in tune with the mornings and I would make friends with the birds chirping outside to kill a mockingbird. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I remember these days, and I honestly believe that our era, the people, anything before millennials, I myself am a millennial, I would 100% say that the drastic change from technology, information, music, entertainment, movies, messages, fucking agendas, everything's like, ever since 2001 and the Twin Towers were destroyed, I've seen the drastic attacks, like mental, physical. I'm talking about emotional bombardment, and it keeps you at a state of like this. You're always in defense mode, always afraid, and then the cover up of the face. This is who you are in the fucking world, bro. This is you. Like I used to tell my little daughter, my oldest, she's 13. But like, you hide your face from the fucking world because people tell you if you could fucking smell a fart through the fucking masks, right, that COVID-19 or 18 is gonna fuck you over.
More than that too, because I have a niece that's actually 13 years old too, and she was wearing it. She finally doesn't wear it no more, but like it was because not because of the virus, it's because they were able to hide their face, and then they wanted like to be low pro, because you know it's a tough time to be a teenager in general, right? Like, you know, that's the weird time, especially for girls.
The pimples and the braces, and what are they gonna think of me? But dog, we went through it. That's a fucking rite of passage.
They gave them, like you said, and like you said, I was the same way. Like, you know, Saturday morning cartoons, it was over about like 8, because you know, like 8:39, you was getting like the where they're trying to educate you on something. You're like, all right, man, I gotta go mow the lawn real quick, and I'm about to be out all day. Like, and I told this to one of my friends. I said, you know, we criticize the younger generations, and I do too, but like, I do feel for them. I said, because they created this world and they pushed it to like where everything's inside, like their interactions are all through a computer or digital, like, and then with the 2020 stuff, that made it even worse. So I think they're trying to push these kids like that. And one thing I'm gonna jump a little bit, something I mean, I don't know how much time we have, but one thing I really wanted to discuss with you, besides the arc, like, which I think people, and that's just, we're just touched the surface on the arc. I'm gonna do actually a deep,
we fucking went in
but it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, so I'm glad because you said what topic, and I was like, man, it's something I got a deeper dive on it. But I wanted to talk more about like this whole domestic terrorism situations. You know, we had the shooting at the Chiefs parade, which I called it right away. I already knew, because like St. Louis has a lot of gang activities, like especially with Bloods and Crits, because like there's a big thing about West Coast talks crap about St. Louis, because they're like, hey man, you stole our shit. Like, you know, they wear khakis and everything, like, you know, Cali style. And I had a feeling like, right, and then I seen the one dude, it looked like he was a Blood, looked like the other dudes were Crips, right? They kind of like let that go in the fog, right? And then just kind of like, yeah, but gun control. I mean, we got the PSYOP Kelsey, not only Mr. Pfizer, right? Then he goes and like, yeah, we need gun control. And not to mention, just as a side note, I hope everybody knows, he's getting money from the federal government to produce a film about global warming. So yeah, he's the full cycle of PSYOP. So I would think it's safe to say that him and Taylor Swift was nothing but a sham anyways, but I'll digress. But my point is that they've been really going hard lately, right? On not lately, but at first domestic terrorism, right? And it's all right leaning, right? Every time you hear about domestic terrorism, MAGA, 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 MAGA is it? And that's the poster child, right? Because they got the January 6th bogus bullshit, which was so lame, bro. And that's why I understand why people.
If that's what an insurrection looks like, bro, get the fuck out, man. That's fucking whack.
Yeah, but I think that there's more to play, right? Like, I mean, the dude Justin Morin that had decapitated his dad. I don't know if you heard about that story, and like that's building that character for the right side. And I told everybody on the left for a long time because they're cheering it on. Like anytime they go after the MAGA guys, I go, hey guys, when they make laws for MAGA, they make them, that's Americans, and they make it for all of us. So if they take his freedom of speech away, they're taking my freedom of speech away. That's what people don't understand when we get into these situations. So I noticed a lot of the last shooters, Colorado Springs shooter, identified non-binary. Denver shooter, identified as trans. Another shooter then as trans. Nashville, trans. Iowa, trans. So there's studies too, and this has been a thing for a long time about the mass shootings, about SSRIs, right? Like those are like for depression and things like that, mood stabilizers and such.
Yeah, to keep you chemically balanced.
And linking that with mass shootings. But this is my theory that I've come up with, because I keep seeing these non-binary, trans, or LGBTQ activists involved in these mass shootings.
Okay.
I think what they're trying to do is rope-a-dope the conservatives, because I see conservative pages like Libs of TikTok. You see like Tom McDonald, all like Jordan Peterson, all these people, Ben Shapiro, they'll all call out like, man, the trans people, like gun. That's how you get gun control. You trick the conservatives, because then you get Donald Trump in office, right? Donald Trump's gonna be like, yeah, we got this LGBTQ bill that prevents like blah 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 trans people from buying guns. Yeah, but it says also SSRIs.
Get out. You're done. Stop. What fuck? Close the fucking curtain. And now wait. Hold. When they do the laws for MAGAs, they do the laws for all Americans. Same concept. They do the laws for the LGBT fucks. Then we get caught up in the middle. Wow.
Yeah. And no one's going to read the whole bill. Like,
no one's going to fucking read the bill.
They have a nice title that says like, yeah, and we're like, yeah. Like, so that's why I try to tell people, I'm like, man, we got to dissect this shit. And even let's take it out. Doesn't even mean that it's Trump's fault, right? Like I also concede that, hey, maybe they're playing Trump too, because Trump's a narcissistic personality and they know that, and they might. So he may be a useful idiot too, and they poke him in certain directions, knowing that he's going to react this certain way, right?
Holy fuck! Did you just debunk this whole thing? Holy shit, man!
That's how I feel. A lot of people don't like that, because I think a lot of people want the hero, right? They want to believe in it, and I'm like, I get that, but you are the hero. You're the hero.
Word. Again, this is to fucking encompass the whole conversation. Flash said the same thing. You have to, if you believe that there's a group of people that are in the shadows, elite, with little puppet fingertips, willing to destroy the world, planning to destroy the world, you better bet your ass that there's also a group of people that are planning to save it.
Sure.
That's the group of people that we belong to. Bam.
Exactly. Now, I feel that there is a group of people, but I think we're not organized. I don't think there's an organized group of people, because when they get organized, like for instance, what's it called?
It's the money, bro. You don't think it's when the money hits? Once the money hits, you get disorganized. You and I got perfectly organized today, right? Yeah. But let's say you blow up tomorrow morning and you just cashed in $1.5 million. You stop fucking with me.
Well, no, immediately. Maybe not me, but depending on how I got the money now, right? Like if it was that I earned it myself, like I busted it, then I would fuck with everybody still. But if I signed a contract where I'm like, hey, I'm endorsed by Arby's or McDonald's, I may not be allowed to say certain things now.
Endorse the ARC.
Yeah, you got to. Hey, Tom Segura, right? Tom Segura, he has a podcast called Your Mom's House. He was sponsored at first in early 2020.
That's a badass name, though.
Yeah, it is a dope ass name. The comedian Tom Segura, his podcast, he was sponsored by McDonald's, made a funny McDonald's, like talking shit on McDonald's. They revoked it, took everything. They had to redo the studio because they painted it like a certain color for like McDonald's, like part of it. So that's what I'm saying. So it's not always, some of the regulations are self-induced, right? It's to save yourself. That's why we need to build infrastructure without these huge corporations. If we build an infrastructure of value for value, guess what? They can't shut that down because you love it. We're still on the air. If McDonald's or Pfizer goes, hey, he's saying the wrong thing, let's pull the plug, or he's getting no money. Of course, we're going to have to, like, if that's all our money and our income and it affects our family, I don't care what anybody says. I would consider, and I would not try to consider that, but if I had all my money and my family and my kid ain't going to be able to eat tonight, I might go, fuck it. I'm not going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be harder to make that decision.
It's kind of what happened with, for example, the UFC and Rumble. And I just seen this TikTok that it involved Elon Musk and some other people that have been freeing up these platforms that we're using. Yeah. And same thing, right? Maybe they're not, because what you're saying, value for value, it's kind of like when we would, back in the day, Stone Ages, we would have this plastic. You have water, let's put it together. Let's drink water out of a bottle. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you get what I'm saying, right? So it's kind of like, yeah. So, but in a digital sense, right? Yep. A talent for talent. And it's kind of like, and you know what? It's true. What you're saying is organizing our group of people, our listeners, the manufacturers, the people that make the show happen with your talents, and then putting ego away, right? And putting putting our talents in together and doing the value for value thing. That's huge, bro. That could really have some fucking impactful momentum.
And that's what, like, and even that's why I love the show, and I always give them shout out. That's why, like, I mean, I don't know them, but this is like what got me into podcasting. No Agenda, bro. If you don't know about No Agenda, go listen to No Agenda. What they do is they listen to the news and they deconstruct the news. They tell you, like during the 2020, like when all the COVID crap was happening, they were able to show you examples. For instance, one of my favorite ones that I use on people all the time. Remember, they were like, man, the bodies were just stacking up in the morgue. They were stacking up so much, we had to get trucks out there and put the bodies on ice. It is true that they had to put bodies on ice and put them in trailers. But why was that? Was it because thousands of people were dying in those cities at once? No. The reason being is because the morgue is designed to only hold a certain amount of bodies for a certain amount of time. And then guess what? Because of all the restrictions, people couldn't have funerals, and people wanted to have a proper funeral for their loved ones. So they postponed them month and a half or longer. So they had to put the bodies somewhere.
Perfect explanation that the news won't fucking tell you.
But they're going to say bodies inside of a trailer because the morgue is full.
That's all you saw. That's all you fucking saw.
Oh yeah. Like, you know, and I give people like a little bit of leeway. Like I said, you know, people work, they got kids, they don't got a lot of time. They have their one favorite talking head that they listen to, and they're like, okay, I hope this guy tells me the truth. You know what I mean? And that the way they frame it to misguide you. Like when they were the hospitals are overrun. They don't realize, the normal people don't realize is that hospitals are supposed to run on 95 to 99% capacity. How do you think they get money? They get money for people in the bed, just like jail get money.
75,000 per death. 75 G's.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, people don't see the money, and it's not that the nurse is seeing that, but these are institutions that are run by people that need money. They're not like just doing it for the love of it.
Yo, the doctors get a huge kick out of pharmaceutical companies and medicine that they have to sell people with cancer, etc. Right? My wife has lupus, and she cannot go a day without her treatment, which is a hydroxychloroquine. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that shit right. Yeah. And then why that drug? Well, because of that hydro, it gives a kick to that specific job in this region, and they control this area, etc. Different states in Mexico, they offered something different. It's not the same pharmaceutical drug. See how that works out? They all get a kick, and then they're in debt. So yeah, they're gonna sell their fucking soul, absolutely. And then the hospital does better, the more people die in it. Yeah, their ratings are gonna be but everybody's pockets be fucking fat.
That's what people didn't like to hear, because they were all like saying like, oh man, you know, COVID's killing everybody. And I'll be like, bro, you know what the leading death? Like, people think it's heart disease, it's all these other things. The leading cause of death in the United States of America is medical malpractice. Boom. Like, but people don't realize how many people die, especially like they said in June and July, because in June and July is when all the med students are entering the workforce after they've graduated and stuff. And guess what? There's a lot of mistakes. And I'm not saying this is nefarious, like they're human beings, but a lot of these people, if you have a doctor, I tell people all the time, like, not only could they be greedy, but the thing I worry about most, are they a critical thinker? I don't want you to go in and be like, hey, my throat hurts. Here you go. Here's some fucking medicine.
No,
you find them. You just gotta like keep looking.
Example. I'm an example. I'm pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
I'm an example, prime example. And this is the first time ever saying this on the fucking show. I'm pre-diabetic. You know how many Ozempic they gave me in the last 6 months? They were supposed to only give me $6. They gave me 18. Yeah. That alone should blow your fucking mind. If you know anything about the drug, hashtag look it up. Búscalo, ladies and gentlemen. Ozempic. Yeah, that shit.
And they're
bro.
trying to use it as a weight loss drug, and it's so sick how they're promoting it. Did you see Kelly Osbourne recently? She was
Kim
like
Kardashian buying on the bottom of the table too through her lawyers.
It's crazy, bro. Like it. And the thing is like, because they're forcing people, and the thing is that's fucked up is that they made, like, obviously it's people, right? But the way societal is where they made everything convenient and made it this crappy food.
Super privileged.
We're putting, you know what I mean? We're eating because we think that's all we know. Like, a lot of people got, and we knew before, because I didn't live like that before, but you get into this like rotation of society, right? And then you start eating like bad, and then there's not a lot of outlets, but then they go, oh, don't worry, bro, don't worry, I got you. Because nobody, they've demoralized people where they don't want to work for it. Like me, I've lost 100 pounds twice. Man, I'm gonna have to lose 50 pounds again. I have to keep going at it, right? Like, now, do I mess up? And do I, like, yeah, bro, like sometimes I'm eating this crap food, you know? And I'm like,
human, yeah.
Then we stop. Tell everybody all the time, bro, if you do Ozempic or you do any of these like weight loss cures, this magic, it's going to work for a little bit, but it's going to go back because you're not taking the steps. It's the same thing. Like, you can't go.
It's about discipline. You got to do it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And if you just take like depression medicine, because I tell people all the time, like, yeah, I get it. Those are Kickstarters, bro. That's a Kickstarter for you to get going. You don't just take the medicine forever. If you take it forever, then what the fuck's the point? But then the doctors don't tell you that. The doctors are like, yeah. Oh, you just want me to give you a higher dose? And that's why a great, like, I don't know if you ever seen the show. It's a little bit old now, but it's on Hulu. It's called Dope Sick with Michael Keaton. It's about like, it's about the Oxycontin era of when Purdue Pharma and pushing Oxycontin, which they were not the only ones, but they're kind of like highlighted in it. And it's crazy because they talk about the whole story, and it's an entertaining way of giving the message across, where they were saying like, oh, Oxycontin, it's less than 1% addictive. Right? They were telling everybody, all the doctors that were prescribing it, that's like, you know what the study they did? The way they got that study is that somebody was in a hospital bed and they were getting it, but it's like, that's controlled, idiot. Like, because it's, you know, the doctor gets to cut it off. They were giving people, and then when people were like getting immune to it because they were taking so much oxy, they're like, I still got back pain. They go, higher dosage. They were like, that's what it is. And they called it pain management, all this terminology where the FDA approved it as less than 1% addictive. So do you think, that's what I was telling people, I was like, so if they would do that, you're telling me they wouldn't do something for the shot? Like, I get if you don't believe like there's, you know, like nanotech in there and that's going to control you. Okay, that's cool. Like, I'm not saying that necessarily is true, but are you going to tell me that these pharmaceutical companies did not see an opportune time to go, oh man, we could make whatever we want, we're not going to have any liability, and it's a blank check because they're going to force it on the people. It's a win-win for them.
It's, quite frankly, I only think that the FDA is there to make us feel, again, emotions, feel safe. Yeah, heartwarm and fuzzy. Yo, I'm safe. And they converted the word freedom to safety, and then they come in and make you feel safe, and they sell you safetiness. And it's not for you to feel, dude, if you could drink a Coke right now, pop it open. This episode is not brought to you by Coke. You drink a fucking soda can right now, and it has sugar in it, and sugar is legal, but cocaine is illegal. But sugar is a lot more addictive. They don't give a fuck about you being addicted to anything.
Like, because I've been cutting out the sodas and stuff. Like, out here, I'm in Michigan now because I'm originally from Cali, so I call it sodas.
Word.
Everybody makes fun of me because they call it pop. Like, oh, you're drinking pop. But we do occasionally have one. I like for the Super Bowl Sunday, instead of drinking, I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring some root beers over. But what I do is, I know sugar's not great, but sugar cane soda coming from sugar cane is much better than the sodas we have out here, which most countries make it with sugar cane. We make it with syrup. Everything has what's that? Not the red dye, but the man, I can't think of it right now. But there's all these syrups and crap that we have into it, and there's so much of these ingredients that are in all of our foods that are not in other foods in other countries. That's what's crazy. But the reason being is because, now, I know people could say population control, and I can entertain that argument. But what it mainly to me is because I've worked and I've been in like talking to higher ups, everything's about saving money, bro. Like if a few thousand people are gonna die, but we can make much more profits, they're gonna do it, and they're just gonna pretend like those people didn't die.
Well, look, and this is like, we're ranting on here, but let me, what you said, adding on to that, let me amplify that message you just put out right now. Yo, you're born, put the number, you're put to work at 18, regardless. No child left behind means the state pays less because you spend less time at school. All right. This is what it means, guys. Debunking this shit. You get out, you only know how to press buttons, if anything. If not, you're in jail, contributing to the system, right? So, and again, I'm talking monetary system here. And then you're 18 years old at a dead-end job, looking for a temporary agency, right? And I'm giving you an example here of what my childhood was, my youth was. And you're stuck in partying, raving, and having sex, unprotected sex. You're dropping babies everywhere. Not that I did. I'm saying most of us, right?
Yeah, the possibilities there.
And then you come out and you're living at a fast pace on a fast lane, check to check. Liquor stores at every corner. There's a liquor store at every fucking block in LA. I'm in LA, in the heart of, I'm in downtown LA. And there's a liquor store and a check cashing place at every fucking corner, with the exception of the tamale lady and the taco spots. All right, bro. No offense. But look, this is truth. It's the fucking truth. Now, you're living at a fast pace. Then now you're just an employee. You're just a worker. By the age of 60, you have arthritis. You're on 10 different drugs, living off welfare. And then you fucking die. Your cycle is complete, baby girl. You see what I'm saying? It's just a fucking number in and out. The faster they could get you into working, the faster they could get you out of fucking being on fucking Social Security. Like myself, I'm 33 years old. By the time I'm 60, I won't see Social Security. I won't see that.
Then you got like Nikki Haley's that are like saying that they got to push back the retirement age, bro. I'm like, man, she makes no sense though. Like, just to go on a little rant real quick, how are you gonna say we're gonna raise the retirement age, but then she's like, oh, Trump and Biden are too old. Bitch, you wanted to raise the the retirement age. Like, to go back to what you're saying, that is where people like me and you need to come in. And see, a lot of this stuff is like, is it Trump? Like, it boils down to everything I come down to. Like, I'm going to talk about crazy stuff. Like, I talk about aliens. I talk about, like, we could talk about Dogman sometimes, parallel universes, portals.
I love that stuff.
Politicians, like corruption, CIA, all that stuff. That's all fun and dandy. But at the end of the day, the root of what I'm trying to say is, like, open up your perception, open up your thoughts. When you're going to work, use that work. Don't look at it as like, dang, this is the end, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to go here. That's going to make you miserable. But if you look at it as, like, I would always tell people, I don't work here. Like, I don't work for this company. I work at this company. I am my own company. I hear myself bad of value, right? So I'm gonna bust my ass here. You know what? They're only giving me $9 an hour. This is bullshit. I deserve more, but I'm gonna bust my ass because maybe right now I don't have any work experience, right? Get that year work experience. Go to the next level. Boom, I'm at 12. Learn some more things. Be very
more tools in your pot and bag.
Yeah, you can have it. The cards can be stacked against you, whether unfortunately not your fault, or sometimes decisions we make, or combination. You know what I'm saying? Some life events happen, but then you make bad decisions. I know personally I did. I made bad decisions that led me to, but you're not over with. And then once you get to this perspective of like, no, I'm in charge, right?
Bam.
Hey, you want to let me go? It's just business, no problem. But I can leave at any time I want to, and I can get another job. And then once you work on your mouthpiece and your confidence, you can get anything. And then you have to build yourself, because then you go, wait a second, maybe if I work at this company for 2 years and I save this amount of money, I could start my own haircut service. I could start my own taco shop. I could start my own podcast. I could, whatever the dream may be.
Gift of gab.
Boom. Then you're in it. And now you have a plan, because now you're like, okay, now I've learned all these skills. I've learned about marketing. I learned about business strategy just by asking questions. Even though you value that time, don't look at it as just a check, because there's a lot of stuff you can learn. And then you learn that and go build your own thing. You know what I mean? Do it better than them. And then you got workers, because you already know the people. And then you could be like, hey, no, I'm gonna pay you. And you know how people should be treated. And then you have a better idea. But we get so afraid because it is scary, right? To take that leap of faith of being like, man, am I gonna be okay? Especially when we have little ones and stuff like that. We don't want to. So strategize, bro. Put your mindset different. I'm doing this because of boom, 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 boom. Do what you can to. We always focus on the bad stuff. That's why I always tell people we focus on the bad stuff. I do too. Like, it sounds like it, right? I'm doing a show later about Elon Musk and the chip in the brain. You know what I mean? And all the AI hoopla, which I think is a bunch of bullcrap too. It's not about being afraid, because you said it earlier, and it's true. There's studies showing that people in fear make irrational decisions. It's a fact. It's a fact of matter. The scientific studies have proven that, and we saw it personally during 2020. That people that were freaked out were like, "You're like, what, bro? Like, are you wearing a bucket on your head, bro? Like, you did not think this through, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like people wearing a mask in their car. I mean, you do you, bro, but like that ain't really doing anything. But to draw it all back, like." So I think they're constantly pinning us against each other. Earlier, we were talking about like controlled opposition. We started out with Tucker, right? And I'm with you, because I think that Tucker Putin interview is peacocking, right? He's out there like, hey, look, man, everybody's against me. But where's the lawsuit against Fox, right? Against anybody that would get fired that high profile, there would be some kind of lawsuit. Did you guys have a backdoor deal? What was the deal? Who's funding your operation right now? How'd you get the contact with Russia? And then when you're being talked to by Putin, he's talking about like, hey, remember you wanted to be in the CIA? Are you just maybe doing some services for the CIA because you always wanted to be in it? You always wanted to be in it. You work for CNN, you work for Fox, you've been around. So him and people like Elon Musk, all I'm saying is don't put trust in these people. Even Trump, like you can vote for Trump. Don't challenge him. And hold him accountable. Like, to me, I wanted him to apologize about the shot. They're like, no, it's optics. You can't say that. Like I was talking, I'm trying to set up something. I'm gonna tell you off air about you with your buddy Flash. I like Flash. I follow a lot of his stuff. I think he has a lot of good points. I disagree with him on Trump, right? And I think sometimes when I comment, like it might sound like, because sometimes comments can be taken wrong, but I don't mean it, because I do appreciate his work. I think he's a very intelligent guy, and I like that he's not taking that approach of like, oh, QAnon and the white hat. He knows like how life is, right? Like he goes, hey, it's gonna be us. He knows that it's us, the people that have to make the change, and that's the only people that are gonna do it. But the only way to do that is us stop idolizing these people, because look at Elon Musk. He's like, yeah, freedom of speech, and then he's like, oh, I'm at the World Government Summit. Oh, hey, by the way, we should have a carbon tax, because that's the only thing that's going to fix global warming.
Wearing a satanic jacket on.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just crazy that we formed it. And then Trump, like, I mean, I have a whole episode. You guys can go see it, like called Trump 316. And I break down a lot of the stuff about like his kids all going to Jesuit schools. Now, again, I'm not saying that I can't prove that he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I have no idea. But I'm saying if you're going to say Obama throwing these signs up, or if the trail that he has and the connections that Trump has, if it was anybody else, we'd be all over it. But because people love Trump, they're like, they don't want
what mentality? Same mentality that you had earlier. Same mentality. The laws get applied to all the Americans. Same logic. 100%. Apply the same thinking and energy to everything you do. This is To Kill the Mockingbirds podcast on Paranoid Radio podcast. Sean Chris joined us and dismantled reality and rebuilt it with facts. Ladies and gentlemen, he's challenging reality one episode at a time. Every single episode is challenging reality and is giving you a new perspective. By all means, he wants you to hashtag look it up and do the research yourself and challenge the narrative. Let them know one more time where they can find you, big dog.
KillTheMockingbirds.com is the main source. But if you're on Instagram, go over Kill the Mockingbirds podcast, drop us a message, and definitely leave us and you, Paranoid Radio, a 5-star review, man. Why not? It takes no time whatsoever. You could be listening right now, just putting a 5-star and be like, fire, leave us a little remark. And you know what I mean? Show the love back, because we are trying to change this system and break down, because we're the working class people. No one's going to do it for us.
Bam. That's right. Thank you again for joining us, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Paranoid Radio.